Morning meeting is taking way too much time. You need to cut it down so that you do not waste time in the morning. I got you. I'm going to show you exactly what I do, and then I'm going to give you some tips and tricks at the end. First thing is, what do? I have the message slide up on the board as students come in, so that takes 0 time because students read it as they come in, they sit down, they eat their breakfast. The next parts are the greeting, sharing, and activity. I think the sharing can take the longest, so I'll get there in a second. First, for the greeting, since my students move from their desks to a circle at the carpet for our morning meeting, I have them do the greeting as their transition. Now that cuts down on a lot of time because instead of them getting to circle, having to greet one another, they greet on the way, so transition and greeting are done in the same time. I give them maybe a minute to get to the circle. I start counting down from 10 if students are not hustling and bustling to the circle. So it might look like, oh, you're gonna do a high five greeting, greet 2 people before you meet me at the carpet. So students are going around. I see like a few lagging. Okay, you have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 to get to the carpet. Then once everybody's at the carpet, I put the share prompt up on the board. I tell them the question. I typically answer, so I model how to answer the question. And then I tell them, turn to the person sitting next to you, you're gonna share, and I'm gonna have a few call out. Can I call on everybody? No, I cannot. I can only call on probably 2 to 3 people. So I quickly have them share. I give them about a minute and maybe sometimes even a little bit less. Oh, okay, you have about 15 seconds left to share, right? So I'm reminding them throughout the entire experience. I'm pacing them through this. Then once they're finished sharing, okay, who would like to share out? I call on a few students. Obviously, if there's like a kid who's dying to share, I might tell them, you can't share right now, but remind me in the middle of our lesson, and I would love for you to share your random fact in the middle of our lesson. Or if a student starts going on to a story or a tangent, I try not to interrupt them because it's like kind of rude, but I really also want to like keep things moving. So I always tell them like, oh, I love this story so much, but right now is not like the best time for us to share. So would you mind telling me in just a few minutes? And then I typically try to follow up with that kid. Then we move into the activity. I quickly go over the rules of the game. I explain how we're going to play it, and then I roll it with students. And I do not give my students like any transition time to like be poor sports or to be bad losers because we play a game every single day. I'm like, the game was fun. It is what it is. We give each other high fives, say thanks for coming to school today, and we sit in our seat. If you still feel like morning meeting is taking too long with that kind of process and system, here are my tips and tricks. You can cut some things out. You don't need to do all parts. You can just do the sharing and the activity or just the greeting and the activity. You don't have to do all of it. Next thing is that you could split it up throughout your lesson. You could do the greeting and the sharing here, and you could do the activity midway through your lesson. You don't have to do it all the way together. And my last tip or trick is to practice each part. Maybe over that first week of school, you only do the greeting, you only do the sharing, and you only do the activity until kids get really speedy at it, and then you start to put them together. So let me know if you have any questions.